Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve, Ramona.
Welcome to the world of a business owner, juggling a whirlwind of responsibilities 2 to 5 years into the journey. Now, envision the transformative power of a mentor guiding you towards efficiency, fostering communication skills, and setting realistic goals. This mentor is the key molding a successful, profitable, socially conscious company. Harness the power of mentorship and let your business thrive. BrainShare Business Mentors is one of the top 10 mentoring firms in the San Francisco Bay Area. Let us help you build the business of your dreams. Select your path and get started today.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. Doing business in life with a purpose, serving others, and yes, you can achieve success by serving others. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. We created this show for you because we want everyone to be motivated, inspired, and educated to make an impact in your world, which will eventually make an impact in the bigger world. I want you to think about, when you listen to my incredible guests today, how will you serve today, and what impact will you create with that service today, and then for weeks beyond that. I want to thank my two sponsors, BrainShare.us, drive business success and sustainability with BrainShare Business Mentors, where your business flourishes and your vision comes to life. Check out the link in the show notes, and then pitchdb.com. Be a guest on over 3 million podcasts, speak at over 11,000 conferences, and much more. Build your thought leader platform with incredible opportunity to show who you really are. With that being said, this podcast excites me because it's something that is a problem around the world. We talk about mental health, but my guest put happiness there, which we need to all be more happy, and with COVID and everything that's happened in the world. So I want to welcome Paul to the show.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for coming on. Let's jump into emotional health and happiness and what you do to help that and serve that.
So I'm a scientist, and the scientific literature has shown there are basically 4 things you can control that will extend your health span. So that's how long you live a happy and healthy life. Diet, exercise, sleep. And the 4th is the quality of your social relationships. The first 3, we know about that for a long time, easy to measure. What's the quality, Steve, of your social relationships right now? I don't know. Compared to what, right? It's a tough answer. So the work I've done scientifically over the last 20 years has quantified how the brain gets value from social interactions. And we've shown that for people who are in service to others, they are changing their brains so that they're better connectors. That reduces their physiologic stress, improves the immune system, and extends health and happiness. So it's a really paradoxical kind of thing in which, if I want to, as a selfish person, live a longer life, I actually need to be of service to others to get the benefits of a rich social network.
I can't believe this. Scientists has proved what I've been talking about for 2 years. You've proved that. Okay, this is bigger than I thought it was going to be. Because I talk about service, you're doing business with a servant's heart, and it makes me happy, and my life has changed so much, not just monetarily, but so many better connections. I feel better. All those 3 things are better because of serving. Talk more about that.
Right. They feed on each other, right? So when we're connected to others, when we're of service to others, we have those rich social connections. Mm-hmm. Then we have this sense of purpose. We have a sense of why we're on the planet. And as you said, we sleep better, we eat better, we're more likely to exercise. So all those things feed back onto each other. So let's flip that script. What happens when I'm isolated, when I'm not of service, when I'm not connected. That social withdrawal is a very strong predictor not only of mental health disorders, but a whole variety of medical disorders are preceded by social withdrawal. So what we've done in the last year is create an app that's free that anybody can use that quantifies the brain value of social connections and will guide you like a ring to close, like we have for steps. Have a ring to close so that you can build up your emotional fitness. You can increase your ability to be an emotionally healthy individual.
I was in the fitness industry from 78 to 2000. I've never heard, would you say mental fitness?
Emotional fitness, right?
Emotional fitness. Sorry, you got me so excited here. Let's talk more because I know I do my biceps, I do my walking, like you said. I've got to be consistent. If I do it for a month and quit for 6 months, I lose it. Is it the same idea with emotional fitness as well?
It is. That's what the science have shown is that as you connect to others, it becomes easier and easier. You
Mm.
mentioned COVID before we went on air, right? With COVID, we had a lot of isolation. And so we have to kind of build up that muscle in the brain, if you will. And just like physical fitness, the more I work out, the more I run or lift weights, the easier it gets and I get stronger. Emotional fitness is the same way. Once I have the habit of serving others, of connecting to others, I strengthen those social bonds. So I'll give you an example. I'm a total introvert, Steve. I can spend 12 hours in the lab, be totally happy working by myself. But what I've learned from my own research is, hey, I've got to actually spend time with these other humans. And I turned 50 10 years ago, and I had 4 surprise birthday parties. Not because I'm such a wonderful person, but because I invested in relationships with all these people, and they all independently had a little party for me. So again, that's the kind of thing that we want to have, where I have this rich social network. So when life inevitably kicks me in the gut, I've got this huge set of individuals that care about me, that are invested in me emotionally, and can be that support system for me when things go awry. What's interesting about the app and the research we published around this is it's predictive. It'll actually tell you in advance if you're going to be happy or sad, high energy or low energy, because our brain has trends like everything else. I think this is sort of biorhythms, right? Like, from working out. Some days you're just dragging and you have to pull yourself to the gym. Well, the same thing with emotional fitness. Some days you're kind of dragging, and if
Yeah.
that dragging persists and you head down this ramp, then you're heading towards depressive symptoms. So having a proactive system that reminds you, and or if you choose a friend, you can share this with a friend, a clinician, a family member, and have that phone call. Just imagine if your dear friend or your brother or sister calls, "Hey, Steve, you shared your data with me. Looks like you're actually struggling a little bit. How you doing?" What better sign of love, of care than someone knowing that you need a little pick me up? You need, hey, let's go out and go to happy hour, have dinner, whatever it is.
That just happened to me yesterday. So I'm in a real time. My best friend called with situation. He called to check on me and supported me. And it was one of my best calls in 10 years from just of us connecting stronger. And that's what this app will do. And if I had the app, even more so, doing that connection. So I know living that. And I hear the phrase all the time, they died of loneliness. And you
Right.
probably heard it as well. We're around the same age. I don't know if the young kids hear that. You're saying, let's not do that anymore. Let's not have people die of loneliness.
We look at medical disorders that had, killed us 100 years ago. It was mostly infectious stuff, cancer, heart disease. What's killing us now is mental health issues, right? The explosion of depression, anxiety, particularly among young people. And the suicide rates are so high among young people in particular. So let's get ahead of the curve. Let's have this predictive metric. It's being used in corporate wellness programs and by health insurers. And as a decision for the company, we're giving it away for free. So if you go to besttuesdayever.com, you can download the app from the App Store, link it to your watch. We pull data from your watch to get into your brain. That's it.
And it works for individuals. And so an individual could go to that website. Anybody. Okay, well, I know what I'm doing after I get off here. Definitely. And I'll
There you
have that in the show notes, audience. So if you don't remember it, you'll be able to click on the link and get access to it.
Here's me.
No worries. Paul, how'd you come up with this? This is so brilliant.
I'm slow, so it took me 20 years of hard published science. Actually, this was primarily funded originally by the Department of Defense that had tasked us in the post 9/11 world with identifying how soldiers might be more persuasive. Could soldiers use words rather than weapons to encourage both our allies and our enemies to cooperate with the US? So it turns out, as you may know, Steve, the brain's a super lazy organ. It just wants to idle. And so to get you to take an action, I've got to convince you with words, with video, with audio, that this is valuable enough to you to get off your metaphorical lazy brain's ass and go out and do something, right? And so by doing this research over many years, we identified how the brain values social emotional experiences. And those experiences are that fourth pillar to extend health span. So once I have a way to measure that, and we create technology that lets us measure it from smartwatches, as I mentioned, then we don't have to wear helmets or do whatever. We just have this constant measure. Hey, how am I doing? And we don't really know that, right? Like I say, well, how are you holding up emotionally? Well, I don't know. Compared to what, right? It's hard to know.
Yeah.
But brain activity is comparable across human beings. So now we have an objective measure of, are you connecting? And I love that you have the title of your podcast, the word service. That's what we've shown, is that people who have consistent histories of service to others produce more of this neurologic state I've called immersion, this social emotional connection system in the brain. They're just switched on. They're all about connection. They're all about helping people.
Mhm.
And guess what? When you help people, they generally reciprocate. You mentioned how being of service has made you not only happier, but healthier and wealthier, right? We are generally cooperative creatures. And when you help me, I want to help you. And now we build our network, and now good things happen. So we've got to have that little prompt sometime, that little, it's your sweet little grandma in your brain, Steve, this thing. So
Yeah.
since you can't have your grandma in there, instead, now you have an app to do it.
Yeah, and I like that. And it's, you come from the scientist. I come from Christmas gifts every day. We all think about Christmas as a kid. Let's give gifts every. That's why I just did a radio show this morning and talked about that. So what you just said from the science perspective, I break it down for us laymen, is Christmas gifts, but the service. So what comes to my head, Paul, is introverts. They're hard to connect because they're introverts. Does this app help them?
Great question. I'm an introvert. And so, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
it does. So it doesn't, this data doesn't skew on introvert extrovert, surprisingly. Introverts are not less able to connect. They just need less connection than extroverts do. What we find is that there are people who are very warm by personality, people who are agreeable and empathic. They're just warmer. They have more friends. They have more of this neurologic immersion state I've talked about, this value of social emotional experiences. And you know some of those people. You maybe are one of those people who's just super warm. And that's what I aspire to be. I'm not naturally a super emotional and warm person, but I'm learning. I'm trying to get better. And our brains are so adaptable that once we get in the habit of connecting to others, it becomes easier and easier.
It's so well said, because you're right about introvert, but they always say, can I be successful as an introvert? I said, absolutely. Just come up with some questions to connect. Here's 3 questions I give to an introvert. Just ask those 3 questions, and dialogue starts happening, and your connection you're talking about, and what happens in the brain starts happening. But what's interesting to me, Paul, you started this 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Well, COVID hits, and what better timing for this to come out than with COVID in 2020?
Yeah, exactly right. So that loneliness epidemic that you mentioned
Yeah.
is really brutal. And so the nice thing about looking at brain activity in terms of the emotional fitness that we have is the brain's very promiscuous in how it gets social emotional experiences. So watching a movie, I think of people crying at movies. Neurologically, that's really weird, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
are aware this is a fictional story with paid actors and you know you're in a theater. So that's sort of transporting us to other worlds. Playing with your dog is a social emotional experience. And even this 2D world that we're in right now, like I'm getting a lot of value from this right now, and I can actually quantify that value because I have my app open and I'm measuring my, my own neurological fitness right now. So um, anyway, there are, all kinds of ways we can get that, even if if we're more isolated, say older people, for example. So we've done a lot of work in retirement homes where people are more isolated. And we've shown consistently that when you get more social emotional interaction, more value neurologically, those people live longer. So I happen to live in the only blue zone in the United States where people regularly live past 100, Loma Linda, California. And if you look at those individuals who we've studied very extensively scientifically, they are almost always in service professions. They're physicians, they're nurses, they're teachers, and they have a habit of service. And so also they're vegetarian, they don't drink, they don't smoke, and they basically won't die. So, that's not a bad recipe.
No, no, yeah, because you take on those three components, the emotional fitness, but the sleep and eat and all that have to be part of it.
Right.
So let's take the seniors, because yeah, I know a lot of seniors die of loneliness because you got your wife there for 55 years, she passes away, or vice versa. Usually happens with the men because they usually rely on their wives. So can they get this app and start using it for themselves and build their emotional fitness, even though in their 70s, 80s, and 90s?
Absolutely. And we don't really care what kind of wearable you have, whether Apple
Yeah.
Watch or Whoop or whatever. So the platform is all these kind of algorithms in the cloud doing all these calculations, but you can actually share this data with someone you love. So what if you have an elderly parent in a retirement home? So I have a father who's 92. Call him up. He's an engineer. Hey, how you doing, Dad? Fine. What'd you have today? I didn't do anything. He won't even tell me anything, right? But
Yep.
I can actually now look at his emotional fitness and make sure he's getting enough social interaction to stay healthy.
So the app lets me, if of course they agree, I can look at my grandfather's ever passed, but I can look at my grandfather or grandmother and see how their emotional fitness is doing.
Exactly right. If they choose to share
Wow.
with you. Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah, because that's the thing with, I've seen seniors. My wife's got, we're dealing with some of that stuff, and I've dealt with my mom and other people. I've heard stories, but because there's robots out there that I've seen that become, I forget, you've probably seen it. It's
Well,
amazing.
companion robots, yeah.
Yes, exactly. But now you can use that app, and I could be a companion to my grandmother or grandfather, whoever's listening, by linking the apps, however it does it technology wise. And I can see mom's having a good day. Call her, hey, mom, happy, give her energy, give her
Right.
connectivity.
And
That's
then you
big.
get the benefit of that too. So that's the nice thing, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, mom's so happy now. Or even if she's not happy, hey, I've reached out to mom. Who doesn't, who loves you less than your mom? Your mom loves you the most, right? So, but you can do it with friends. I think it's really important. The nice thing about scheduling too is if you have this goal every day, you're like, okay, hey, I need to spend half an hour and call some friends. And when you're old enough like us, Steve, you have these friends you've had for 40 years plus. To have like one of your guy friends call up, it's like, I love you, man. I'm like, hey, I love you too. Like, how special is that, that there are non-family members that actually love us, that will show up if we have a crisis and help us? That's amazing.
And again, yesterday, that's what happened. Shout out to my best friend Mike Sullivan. He called me to check on me, and I was having a not the best day. We're fallible, and that happens. But I got off that call, and I felt like I was on cloud nine. I'm sure that's not a scientific term, but people understand that. So okay, so we're teaching. So they have the app. I can literally, as people have an app, go, okay, how's your emotional fitness today? Oh, it's not. Because what I tell people, Paul, you're going to love this. You're having a bad day, go out and serve somebody. Get away from the office, go to the grocery store, buy somebody's groceries, go to a homeless guy, go, soup kitchen. Because people go, how do I serve? It's just not money. It's not giving somebody money. It's the value add. I call it law of increase from Think and Grow Rich. So I can kind of see that, or somebody can use that and go, oh, Steve said, oh my God, Paul's app says my emotional fitness is down. Steve says go serve. I'm going to go serve.
And you can start slow. Like
Yeah.
even for me, and I try to be of service every day. Like going to a soup kitchen sounds kind of scary. Like I don't even know how to start. But what I start doing is talking to people in the elevators. Like it's so weird to me that we're three humans in a box and we pretend like the other people aren't there. So I just start saying hi to people in the elevators, and it got me used to just. First of all, half the people freak out, which is really funny. They're like, well, "Why are you talking to me?" I'm like, "I'm just saying hello. Just want to see how your day's going." And the other half, you have this really nice 30 conversation, and it's really pleasant. So, the servers at the restaurant, you can reach out to all those people and be kind to them. They're human beings. They have scars going through life like we do. So recognize that.
I use the infinity loop as the service symbol. And if you don't know, audience, that's the sideways eight. If you think about that. But you just said that I connect and serve somebody, they're serving me back somehow, some way. So you're feeling that, and that's where the app does too, is doing that looping.
Exactly right. So we get to share this between each other, and we're both more emotionally fit because we've been helping each other or connecting to each other at least.
Curious question just came to my head. If I'm wearing this while I'm sleeping, do you take it off? I mean, do you take it off? But I'm thinking I'm sleeping. Is my dreams tied to that? And I'm having a service dream? I may be over scientific in this thing, if that's a
Great
word.
question. We have tested that, and no, the dreams don't get. There's no free
Okay.
lunch while you're sleeping, so you've got to go out.
Yeah.
And
So there'd be, no reason to wear it. But so it's the
right.
active part of your life. God, this is just so brilliant. And is it easy to use for
Super easy.
seniors? Seniors
Yeah.
are tough with tech.
Yeah, absolutely. Super easy. So look, I just made 96 out of 100. So you're making my day, Steve. Thank you so much. That's my big smile, says I'm getting a lot more value talking to you than I was at baseline. So what a gift to spend some time with you. Thank you for your great questions.
Oh no, this has been it just fits what I do. And it's like now I can quantify it. Like you've said a number of times, really Steve doesn't work. It's like the woo-woo, the thing, it's I'm a Jesus, I believe in Jesus, God. I don't know. But this is actually taking that serving and saying, you didn't serve today, you did, or you need to do more. And it's right there.
Yeah. And people shouldn't feel bad, right? So again, if
Yeah.
you have a couple bad days, if you're sick one day, you don't have to do this every day, but just have that reminder and that little ring to close to make sure you are connected, you're serving others, and they'll in turn serve you.
So that comes, and we're getting to the end of time, but I got to keep talking to you because this is so powerful. So people say, I know I'm feeling good, or I know I'm not serving. Why do I need to see it? How much is it different? Because I know when I knew I was serving you, but I didn't know it was that much. That's the power. Talk about that, how that reporting back changes me.
What a great question. So the app links to your calendar. So you'll see those activities during your day that give you the most immersion and the ones that are kind of frustrating. You're there, but you're not really getting much value. So you can begin to curate your life for greater happiness.
Wow, this is just, I'm really blown away because what I tell people when somebody's not serving you in your inner circle or an activity's not working, you need to move out and say no. That's a servant activity as well. You can say no. So this will tell you those activities going, that's not really serving you, Steve. It's not bringing the emotional fitness you need. Maybe you shouldn't go to that gym. Maybe it's stressful to go to that gym or whatever it may be. Find another gym, for example. Am I on track here a little bit?
Yeah, exactly right. So you'll learn over time. And the app, we're working on version 2 of the app now. Version 1's the one in the link. And version 2 will actually tell you in advance. Now it's going to learn about you. We've trained a large language model. So it'll say, hey, based on your last 2 months of use, you have a meeting with Bob at 2 o'clock. And those meetings generally are really stressful for you. So here's some things you might do to prepare for that meeting. Or you're meeting Susan, always a fabulous meeting. Prepare yourself for an amazing time. How great would that be?
This is $1 billion idea. I'm sorry, audience, I don't talk money very much, but this is a complete game changer for everybody. There's apps out there for particular things, CRMs and marketing, but you've really built an app for everybody in the world, not just the United States.
Right. And we're giving away for free because we think it's that important. Now, businesses will pay for it. Corporate wellness programs can pay for the data, whatever. But I think for individuals, if you need to have a little prompt to be of service to others, this is the one that's going to do it for you.
Servant's heart right there, audience. This is why I was referred to Paul. I just met him today. I'm so glad I did. This is why I'm doing business and life with a servant's heart is, and you could probably charge, $4.99 a month and make a lot of money, but you decide not to because you want to help the world.
Yeah, there is a premium version if you want extra features, but
and
you don't need to get it.
That's fine. Well, this has been incredible. I do want you to talk about immersion now, even more so now, because I'm going to get the book once you get off here. It's going to be my next book.
Great.
Talk more about it.
Right. So this summarizes really how to create businesses that wow customers every time, that create amazing marketing, amazing customer experiences, better entertainment, better education and training. So chapters and all that from the 20 years of science we've done. Again, everything from the Pentagon to the rainforest of Papua New Guinea. So really interesting practical science And then it talks about really making people happy. How do we get more happiness in our life? And businesses, I think, have a sacred duty to provide delightful experiences for customers so that they can also create those high immersion experiences and help us be happier. And the companies that do that, by the way, make a ton of money because you're creating these raving fans, and the customer lifetime value is high when you have delighted customers.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the gecko's lizard. We all know that. The caveman, Jake from State Farm. It makes us laugh. They're silly, but you're saying that emotional fitness is uplifted because we're happy because of watching that, and then we remember State Farm or Gecko, or it's amazing. It's all insurance companies, but we won't go there yet. There might be a reason. I'll let you scientificate that out. And what a great book for my two belt as I mentor people. So you're going to see your sales going up because I'm going to be sharing this. This is great.
Thank you, Steve.
You're very welcome, Paul. Any last words for the audience?
Feel free to reach out. If they're listening to you,
Yep.
then I'm happy to chat with them. So you can go to getimmersion.com, which is our main website. Lots of free information, things on health, all kinds of articles I've written, and the science is there as well. So I'm happy to interact with any of your listeners.
Thank you so much, Paul. And you're a blessing. God bless you. We're going to talk more. I want to work with you on this because this is just fits my wheelhouse so much. And, I did a radio show this morning. All this stuff we're talking about, we talked about on the show, but we didn't have the quantitative because that's where we went. How do we really know? And you just 2 hours later, I just found the problem. You just solved the problem. So that's great. The other thing about the podcast, especially this one with Paul, there's a reverse and a forward button. There's parts of this you might want to listen to over and over again. Happiness and quantitative and emotional fitness and what it really is. The 4 pillars, you might have the 3. So use those reverse and forward buttons to educate yourself and repetitively learn. I'd love for you, and Paul would love for you to watch this whole podcast. But if you took 5 or 10 minutes and it changed your life, we've served you. Let's just use Paul's verbiage. We've been a servant's heart. So take advantage of that. And don't forget my TV show, doing Together We Serve, 5 p.m. or it's 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Fridays tomorrow. And then don't forget my swag, doing business with the servant's heart. Spread that message out to the world. And then to get this app, and you're winning. I believe you'll be winning in life. And last but not least, I want to thank all of you for watching and listening. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. See you soon.